The Holy Spirit's power. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt stuck? Like no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, something keeps holding you back. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's doubt, maybe it's something from your past that just won't let go. Or maybe you don't even know what it is. You just feel like there's a weight on your shoulders that you can't shake off. Let me tell you right now, that's not how you were meant to live. That's not the life God designed for you. Because when the Holy Spirit moves, chains are broken. When he moves, lives are transformed. And I don't mean a small change. I don't mean just feeling a little better. I mean a complete, undeniable, life-altering transformation. The kind that turns a lost person into a leader, a fearful person into a warrior, a broken person into someone filled with power and purpose. The kind of transformation that no man can take credit for, only God. And when that happens, when the Spirit of God moves, nothing stays. Let me tell you something. This ain't just about a feeling. This ain't just about a whisper in the wind. The Holy Spirit is power. Pure, unshaken, undeniable power. The kind of power that moves mountains, splits seas, and shakes the very foundations of the earth. When he shows up, something happens. Things don't stay the same. People don't stay the same. See, a lot of folks think the Holy Spirit is just a comforter, just a quiet voice that gives you peace when times are hard. And yes, he is that, but oh, he is so much more. He is power. The kind of power that turns cowards into warriors, that takes broken people and makes them whole, that takes a lost soul and sets them on fire. When the Holy Spirit moves, it's like a raging river. You can't stop it. You can't contain it. You can't predict it. You can only surrender to it. And when you do, you start walking different. You start talking different. You start thinking different. Why? Because that power is inside you. That same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. Think about that for a second. That same Spirit is alive in you. Not a weaker version, not a diluted version, but the same Spirit, the same power, the same unstoppable force. See, we live in a world where people are hungry for power, political power, financial power, social power. They chase after it, fight for it, lie, cheat, and steal for it. But the power of the Holy Spirit, oh, you don't have to fight for it. You don't have to earn it. It's given freely. And when you have it, let me tell you, there's no force on earth that can stand against you. You ever wonder why some people walk into a room and the atmosphere changes? It's not their name, it's not their status, not their money. It's the power that's inside them. It's the Holy Spirit moving through them. See, when that power is inside you, darkness has to back up. Fear has to bow down. Chains have to break. But here's the thing, you got to activate it. You can't just sit on it. You can't just acknowledge it and do nothing. Power is meant to be used. You ever seen a lamp unplugged? A car with no gas? A plane that never takes off? That's what a believer is like without the power of the Holy Spirit. Potential is there, but nothing's happening. You got to connect. You got to tap in. And when you do, that's when miracles happen. That's when the impossible becomes possible. That's when battles that should have taken you out suddenly, that's when people start looking at you and saying, there's something different about them. Yeah, there is. It's called power. Not man's power, not your own strength, but the power of the living God. And let me tell you something else. This power doesn't run out. It doesn't fade. It doesn't weaken. It doesn't get old. It's the same power today that it was thousands of years ago. The same Spirit that breathed life into Adam, the same Spirit that anointed David, the same Spirit that filled the upper room on Pentecost, that Spirit is alive and moving right now, and it's available to you. But some of you are walking around powerless. Some of you have let fear silence you. Some of you have let doubt hold you back. Some of you have believed the lie that you're not worthy, that you're not capable, that you're not enough. Let me tell you right now, that is not the voice of the Spirit. That's the voice of the enemy. The Spirit of God does not bring fear, does not bring hesitation, does not bring doubt. He brings power. He brings boldness. He brings fire. And when that fire gets inside of you, you don't need approval. You don't need permission. You don't need the world's validation. You move because the Spirit moves you. You speak because the Spirit gives you words. You step out because you know it's not you doing the work. It's the power within you. Some of you have been waiting for a sign, waiting for confirmation, waiting for everything to be perfect before you move. But the Spirit of God is already in you, already ready, moving. You just have to step into it. When the Holy Spirit moves, chains are broken and lives are transformed. That's not just a saying. That's not just some poetic way of putting things. That's the reality of his power. So, when he shows up, things that were impossible become possible. Situations that seemed unchangeable suddenly shift. People who were stuck in cycles of pain, of addiction, of fear, of failure, they walk free. Not because they found some self-help trick, not because they got stronger in their own willpower, but because the Spirit of the living God stepped in and broke the chains holding them down. See, chains come in all forms. Some are visible: poverty, sickness, oppression. Some are invisible: fear, depression, doubt, shame. And let me tell you, the invisible ones, sometimes they're the heaviest. You can walk around looking fine on the outside, smiling, handling your business, showing up, being responsible. But inside you're bound. Inside something's got you wrapped up. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you fight, you can't break free on your own. That's where the Holy Spirit steps in. That's when his power goes to work. It's not just about getting through life. It's not just about surviving. The Holy Spirit doesn't come to make you comfortable in your chains. He doesn't come to give you coping mechanisms to teach you how to live with bondage. No, he comes to break it completely. Permanently. He comes to set captives free. That's what Jesus himself said. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to proclaim freedom for the captives. Freedom. Not survival, not just barely making it. Real, undeniable, unshakable freedom. And when that happens, when chains fall off, lives are transformed. Not slightly improved, not just adjusted. Transformed. That means a complete shift. That means the person you used to be is not the person you are anymore. The things that held you back don't hold you anymore. The things that kept you up at night don't torment you anymore. The things that defined your past no longer define your future. Because when the Spirit moves, he doesn't leave things the way he found them. Think about Paul. This man was out here persecuting Christians, convinced he was doing the right thing, convinced he was on the right path. But then the Spirit of God knocked him off his horse, blinded him, stripped him down to nothing, and rebuilt him into something new. The man who once hunted believers became the man who led them. That's transformation. That's what happens when the Holy Spirit moves. He takes what was broken and makes it whole. He takes what was lost and brings it home. He takes what seemed hopeless and fills it with purpose. But here's the thing, sometimes we don't even realize we're bound. Sometimes we've been carrying the weight for so long, we think it's normal. We think struggle is just a part of life. We think anxiety is just our personality. We think addiction is just our way of coping. But the Spirit of God didn't come so you could learn how to carry chains better. He came to remove them. He came to break them into pieces so you could walk in the fullness of who God made you to be. And it doesn't matter how long those chains have been there. It doesn't matter if they were passed down from your parents or if you picked them up yourself. It doesn't matter if people around you say, it's just the way life is. The Holy Spirit doesn't care how long something has been a certain way. He doesn't care how impossible it looks. He is not limited by history, by circumstances, by statistics. He moves, and when he moves, everything changes. Some of you have been waiting for the right moment. Waiting for things to get easier, waiting for someone to come and pull you out. But the Spirit of God is here now. He's moving now. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Not later, not someday, now. The question is, are you ready? Are you willing? Because when he moves, you can't stay the same. When he moves, you have to let go of the old. You have to step into the new. You have to trust that the power of God is greater than whatever has been holding you back. So now the question is, what are you going to do? Because when the Holy Spirit moves, you can't stay the same. You can't sit still. You can't keep living in chains when freedom is right in front of you. You can't keep doubting when his power is already inside you. You can't keep waiting when he's already calling you forward. See, God is not in the business of half measures. He doesn't do partial freedom. He doesn't do temporary breakthroughs. When he breaks chains, they stay broken. When he sets you free, you are free indeed. But you have to step into it. You have to believe it. You have to receive it. So don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt keep you from what's already yours. Don't let the enemy convince you that you're not worthy, that you're not ready, that you're not enough. The Spirit of the living God is in you. His power is working through you. And when he moves, everything changes. Your life changes. your purpose changes, your future changes. So step into it, walk in it, live in it, because the Holy Spirit is moving right now, and nothing can stand in his way.